This episode is brought to you by Cube Gallery, the premier art space in Cebu City, focusing on showcasing contemporary art. Coming up next, at Cube Gallery, beginning April 25, 2019, there's 3 emerging artists team up for Camping Trip. That's the name of the show. It's headlined by Reen Barrera, Terence Duarte, that's TRNZ, and Jepoy Santos, Mr. S. That's his name, Mr. S. The show brings the artist's childlike wonder to an expedition of fun. You can reach Cube Gallery at info@cubegallery.ph or send a message through their social media channels. Thank you, Cube Gallery, for sponsoring the podcast. Let's get to the show. Welcome to 032 Conversations, the podcast where we talk to creatives, see how they live, and how they do their work. I'm your host, Carlo Villarica. In this episode, I talked to Jude Gitamondoc. If you don't know who Jude Gitamondoc is, he's an award-winning Filipino songwriter, record producer, and musical director based here in Cebu, Philippines. He's got a lot of awards. He's a 2-time Awit Awards awardee. He's got ABS-CBN's Himig Handog, TFC Choice Award, Star Studio Reader's Choice Award. I'm just reading his Wikipedia page, really. Cebu Pop Music Festival, Golden Screen Awards winner. He's made a lot of songs. There's a Spotify playlist, and I think there's like 50 songs on it. Like Jude Gitamondoc. Somehow, like, I forgot exactly what it was. Either produced songs or written by Jude, but he's basically had a lot of songs under his name. He's written songs for like Regine Velasquez, Piolo Pascual, Tony Gonzaga, KC Concepcion, Gary Valenciano. Some of these names are actually familiar to me too. No, but he's a really good songwriter, and you might have noticed his name pop up a little bit more lately because of that recent Vispop controversy. Now, for more context, it would be good to read. It's in the show notes for this podcast, but I think it's titled. Let me double check. He has a note that he posted on his Facebook page, and it's titled My Vispop Journey. So it's his statement against what was happening in this Vispop controversy. I'm not gonna explain it here in the intro because we do get into it in the podcast. Yeah, so we talk about that. We talk about what he wrote and some of the things that he didn't write, and we just. I want to say we just explored that topic more, and the possible ramifications of this whole thing to the music community in Cebu, and just figuring out what's gonna happen really, because when I recorded the interview with him. I recorded it like a week ago. Usually when I record these interviews, they go to a queue, but sometimes I am forced to push episodes forward. Like this Jude Gitamondoc one is an example of me pushing it forward because the content is very timely. And then I feel like it's a good idea that we have this on record. And I think a few days ago, there was an Artisco General Assembly. So the members of this co-op Artisco, which is, should I say, featured in the episode. We talk about them a lot. So a General Assembly, so all of the members in the co-op gets together and then they talk about, moving forward or issues within their community. So as of this recording, I don't really have any news as to what happened. All I know is that Jude wasn't allowed to take part. So, I mean, it was kind of expected because, he did resign. So I wouldn't have been surprised if they allowed him in. So we get into that in this episode. But before we get to the episode, I'd like to thank Destination Specialists, the travel agency that delivers happiness. Destination Specialists is a travel agency. They've got like 2 branches in SM City, Cebu, and in Manila Town Center. And if you want to book a holiday, you want to go out on a trip, you want to do something as easy as buying a ticket or as complicated as booking a whole bunch of tours in a totally different country, just give Destination Specialists a call. You can go to their website, destinationcebu.com, or call them at 032-2312-461. Or, visit any of their 2 branches. They're in SM City, Cebu, or Manila Town Center. And if you have any travel requirements, anything, they can handle it for you. They've been around for more than 15 years, I believe. So one of the older, should I say, classic? older travel agencies around, and one of the bigger ones in Cebu. So yeah, give them a call. Destination Specialist, thank you for sponsoring the podcast. Before we get to the interview, last week there was that incident that happened in the Good Cup Coffee Co. And a gunman came in, shot basically. The Good Cup Coffee Co. is this coffee shop in near Velas in Ramos, I believe. And then, this guy walked in and basically opened fire inside the coffee shop, and so two people were injured, and 2 people died, and the 2 that died is John Michael Hermoso and Cyril Ramos. And then I didn't know Cyril. I don't know the other 2 who were shot, but they fortunately, as far as I know, they were only injured, Jerome Amada and Sherwin Rivera. But I did know John Michael Hermoso, or more popularly known as Blazing John. I didn't really get to talk to him. In fact, he was in my list of people to interview for 032 Conversations. But I did remember meeting him in back when he worked in Linear. And in fact, a few weeks ago, before the incident, I visited the Good Cup Coffee Co. And then I was hoping I'd run into John while he was there. And then I wanted to ask him if he could be a guest in the podcast. Would have been great to have a conversation with him. And I don't know. I just felt like sharing this because he really was. He was a good guy. He was a nice dude, and he a pillar of the coffee community and all that. But he really did legitimately touched people's lives through coffee, and I just wanted to say that. I want listeners to know that, just in case they didn't know who he was. Yeah, so I just thought that it would be just wanted to pay my respects also for Blazing John, just wanted to say something about him in the podcast. And you should check out the podcast show notes, because there is I'm gonna put a link to a fundraising campaign for the families of John and Kiss. That's Cyril Ramos, the other barista who worked in the Good Cup Coffee Co. And it's a funding campaign. I'm gonna put a link to in the show notes. You can check the show notes. It's a gogetfunding.com /the-families-of-John-Kiss. I'm just gonna put a link in the show notes, and if you feel like contributing to their families, just go there. Just do the whole thing. Yeah. So here's my interview with Jude Gitamondoc. From my perspective, like, I'm really an outsider.
Okay.
No, I'm just looking in. At least on Facebook. So to me, like, okay, they announced Vispop, the 2019 one, and then then you see posts from artists that I respect. Silang Silly, silang Judd, silang Kurt.
Yeah.
And then there's an outcry.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yes.
And then, so from my perspective, like ano ba? But it didn't really come as a huge surprise to me because I've had plenty of kanang off the record conversations with artists.
Yeah.
In fact, I mean, I'm not gonna name her because I didn't ask. She didn't. She didn't say I could name her. But I remember meeting one of these artists.
Yeah.
Because I just ran into her in a coffee shop. Story me. You're just catching up, and then she goes, "Yeah, did you know these royalties?" And then she's the first one who brought it up.
Okay.
No, but if you hear it from one person, that could be your thing, or I don't know. It's just you. But then, I remember hearing it from her first.
Yeah.
And then, then another person said it, then another person said it, then another person.
Yeah.
So then, there's something happening here.
Yes.
And, so when you released your katong note called that My Vispop Journey.
Yes.
Everything, all these conversations that I had off the record was basically, from my perspective, that was what was in the note.
Yeah.
No? So can you, maybe let's start with just a very short version of what happened. No? So like,
so I was approached by Batch 85 because they asked for a meeting with me because apparently we already had word na kanang they were organizing this Vispop 2019. So even before Batch 85 approached me, na may information na nagsugod na sila organize, nag-meeting na sila with artist ko. So I basically went to that meeting knowing what's going on already. So I knew na artist ko was gonna be part of it, and it will be mostly organized by Batch 85. So
at this point, you're not part of Vispop.
Yes.
You're not part of Artist Co.
Where do you want me to start? Sorry.
Oh yeah, muna. Here. So I'll do a very quick version of my version.
Medyo tas-tas good siya.
Yeah. So this is my understanding.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
No? So Vispop is a songwriting contest.
Yeah.
You first thought about it, pitched it to Artist Co. A few years later, it happened. You did a few versions of it.
Yeah.
And then, I'm sure there was a lot of things in between, but more or less, the Vispop.
We did it for 5 years.
Concept.
The first year was mostly organized by Katsuki. I was just the musical director and record producer, but it was really Katsuki was doing all the legwork. And then the next year, Katsuki resigned, so I had to take over. I was given the job to really organize the whole event. So that's Vispop 2 until 5th.
2 until 5?
Yes, until 5.
And then, after Vispop 5, you decided to leave Artist Co.
Yes, because of a certain incident.
Of what happened in Bohol. So very quickly, you went to Bohol.
Yes.
And then you guys decided to do like a small bar gig.
Yes.
With Jerica Teodorico.
Kininani siya context. Because, when we arrived in Bohol, we were invited by, Joseph Gara, one of the Vispop songwriting winners who's based in Bohol. He invited me to do a workshop. So, we agreed to that. And then, nag-unaw namin ni Jerica. Jerica really, suggested it na maghimo may gig while we're there.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we gonna do in the evening? So might as well do a gig. So Joseph Gara helped us with the organizing of that. So siya ay nakig-book sa venue, and then venue asked na if we can have a little door charge or kuan, 100 ba to or kuan. But it's really a small place, like 50 people na siya. And in fact, karon daw it was closed na. Nasarado na siya na venue. So moto, the workshop was done, and then after the workshop we did that gig. Pero pag abot na mo sa Bohol, mo lang gigreet ni Joseph na mo na the venue daw got that kanang mura siya, sabi tawagan na
like
niya.
A notice or a cease and desist,
yes,
nga letter.
Yes.
So because they named the event like Vispop Night
on social media. Murag ang the thought was because all three of us were Vispop, related to Vispop. I was the musical director. Jerica was Vispop 3.0, 2.0 grand prize winner. Si Joseph was Vispop 4.0 grand prize winner. So they kind of course, the organizers thought, the venue thought na let's just label it as Vispop Night.
Oh, and they probably labeled it like that because they were treating it like it's a genre.
Yes.
Okay.
Modjud. So moto siya, they got that notice and they showed it to me. And then so of course medyo nakuan ko kay, di ba, murag napahiya ko kay kanang kami bayayin ni Dool sa venue. It was not their idea, it was our idea to have a gig, and it just so happened that they also used the name Vispop. So, and I did not see a problem with it. Unta. Nya ang context kay after we did the event, Joseph told me na actually artist ko approached the government of Bohol for a workshop.
Okay.
Okay, so kini mo ning backstory. Ni-approach ko no si artist ko, si Ayan, sa government of Bohol. I think through the help of Joseph Sad, no? And then, so nag-back and forth sila, nag-propose. So ang understanding sa government of Bohol is kanang mura siyang partnership bitaw. Mura siyang partnership ang agreement. Pero murag na dismayed ang mayor because when they got the kanang say tawa ni ang charge or ang amount, it was like a full payment for kuan. So murag basically the event will be shouldered by
the government.
Yeah, it was artist ko who approached them for the workshop.
So more or less the government side nahibong sila nga nakuha diyan nga gasto
inyo maning project ngano ako na ba so nag-ingon ang mayor ko no na maghimo lang taga to.
Okay.
Kaya di ba sa ilaha pang event na they can go on with the charges. So kana totally oblivious ko na context. Wala ko kay mo.
So when you went to Bohol,
ako kay pagduol ni Joseph nako, I got invited to workshops every time, like everywhere. I got workshop invitation. So I thought it was just one of those workshops. And I think nakuan pa yun na nasamutan with that kuan. So it was murag para nako maybe artist ko or Ayan thought na I was being insidious na kanang akong gikuha ang what their kuan katong ilang gig or whatever ang booking nila. Pero honestly wala gyud ko kibuhat to.
Okay.
So moto I agreed to that, and then we had that one. Kaya we were trying to figure out sad ba ngano ina naman ka antagonistic ang kuan. And the worst thing about it for me was there was no communication directed to through me. Like I was the guy there.
You knew about the cease and desist once you got na to Bohol.
Yes.
When you murag nahibong na ka. When also the other thing is, and if you look at the letter, it's a cease and desist for using the term Vispop.
Yes.
Which is
sad. Ang trademark sa namura sa gyud kog na trouble kay nani.
Which also, by the way, the Vispop term came from you also. So I guess you were surprised.
Mura siya kuan. I was kanang unprepared for it ba. Na inana siya kagrabe ang iyang reaction ang kuan sa artist ko towards that event. So moto when I went home, wala siya nagsugod na kagugot. Because I posted it on Facebook, and then I think I posted another kuan na yung ko na mugamit na lang ko Vispop
Yeah.
I
So,
cannot use Vispop anymore because they will, In fact, that little post, up to this day, makafeel pa ko sa repercussion of that post because some of our fans actually use Vispop. They
oh
don't
yeah.
use Vispop. And ako di ko ka-track down ba na, did they see my post? Kay
Oh.
B-I-S-P-O-P yun ang kuhan. So, murag, na spread out yun to na balita ba. So, I guess that's why artist ko also, murag nagkuhan sila ba, damage control. So, they decided to hold a meeting.
Yeah, so okay, so this Bohol incident, number one, it was the term Vispop, which is, I think it's nobody is arguing that
Yeah.
it is your intellectual the term came from you.
Even sa ilang letter, they admitted that.
And then, but it was trademarked without you knowing, diba?
In fact, had they approached me, let's say on Vispop 2 or 3, na asked me to sign a waiver, I could have signed it because at that point I was so into it, into the advocacy na I don't mind. Like, do I need to say yes? I will sign it. But ako is I wasn't informed.
Yeah.
There was no communication whatsoever in the document that I signed when I pitched the project to them. It was not there. So wala gyud kuan bitaw. Murag kuan lang siguro decency is to tell me.
You would have thought, diba?
Yeah.
Okay, so that happened. You decided to leave Artist Ko. It didn't work out.
Okay, ang kuan ni, ang ilang fix was they set a meeting with me. Si Attorney Jojo ang nag-mediate sa MUA. It was Attorney Jojo, Insoy, Ayan, and myself. And then they pitched the idea na kanang we're gonna pursue Vispop Incorporated. And then they offered ang katong general manager na position. So,
to you?
To me. Niya, mo to nag-think sa ko na ang amo gyud, ako amang gyud gusto mahitabo is let's not stop people from using the word because at that point Vispop 5 na guni after Vispop 5, so everyone was using it. Like, even referring to songs that were not really part of the songwriting contest. We have songs from Bohol, we have songs from Davao, and Dumaguete that are getting radio airplay and people are calling them Vispop.
Yeah.
Yeah, na mura akong idea was if it's really the advocacy that we're advocating, kanang I think mas maayo if people use it more than kanang kuan ginatog yun siya
yeah, because you have more to gain actually. Yeah. I think because I remember like reading the rebuttal from Artist Ko. So they were saying they trademarked it because that is one way for them to earn revenue. No? But actually, if you think about it, you have much more to gain if it becomes like a household name. Yeah, like a household name. Yes. No? And then it's one of these things nga it reminds me of this kind of more, I'm not sure if the right term is crab mentality, no? Pero like it's this mentality of like of scarcity, no? So they think more wala na kay, like this is a scarce resource, so we're gonna milk it for all it's got. But then the reality is it's a big world out there.
Yeah, sad kanang it was an opportunity for Vispop Yud kay kanang wala gyud songwriting contest that kanang became what it was ba na a contest that became a genre. You can't find any other songwriting contest. Like, I've been joining them for a long time. Philpop, Cebu Pop. People don't use those words to refer to the genre. So if it's Philpop, it's just the contest Philpop. You cannot use Philpop to refer to any other song na dili finalist sa Philpop or sa Himig Handog, which is a love song writing contest. So kuan gyud siya kanang unique siya ba na opportunity. And then ako what I believe that Artist Ko was going for was going against the wonderful thing that's happening.
Right? Yeah, because it could have been much bigger, and then you could see it nga people were reaching out to them na noon to use the term.
Yes.
No?
Yeah, and it was really the users. Wala na siya kuan. It was so organic. No one planned for it to happen. It just happened. Like in the same case na Bistruck came to be no na kanang gi-coin siya ni
The DJ Ram? Dili ba?
Ang na-credit is the writer, kalimutan ko sa name. Pero it was credited to a writer sa Sunstar, no? Forget the name. Pero muna siya, Bisrock became a genre sad. And then, ako amang good na is, nakita na ko na wala pa mong word to refer to a mainstream Bisaya song.
Yeah.
Because before sa Vispop, there was no such thing. It was always novelty song, or it was always underground rock, or it was always the kaning kinaraan na sa Cebu Pop. So it was always on the sides. There was nothing mainstream to speak of at that point when Vispop happened. So momang yun natong goal is to make it to mainstream para ma-mainstream sa dang Bisaya. Dili lang siya on the side pero may ba?
Bitaw. And then, so, which brings us, I think, to the part where a lot of I think, because that one, sige, like, so they trademarked Vispa, Panana, and then you left it. If to you and the people in Artisco, it's a big deal, but like everybody else, we're not really affected, ba?
Yeah.
But I think the part where,
in fact, I was silent about it for one good year. Like 2017, more than 1 year ba? More than 1 year, because 2017 November man to, when did the issue explode? Just this year, right?
Yeah.
So more than a year.
Because I think the part that people are pissed off about, or there's outcry about, is the kanang like unpaid royalties. Is that true?
Sad, it was just part of it, among other things. Because a lot of this, our partners manatogod, si Jad, si Silly, they know what's going on inside. They knew about that meeting I had about Vispop Inc. and what happened after that. Because what happened after that meeting was I wrote a letter to Artisco in response to their question kung ganahan ba ko mag-Vispop Incorporated.
Yeah.
So I replied with a letter, and then but ang twist adto is I had everyone else sign because my statement was we don't get to decide this on our own. Murag, this is part of kuana, everyone should be told about this. So what to everyone else's sign.
Everyone else in your team.
Kanang those who really had a hand in the
Vispop.
event, as a songwriter, as a performer, as a producer, organizer, all that. So we made a joint statement ba na in that sense na we are not open to incorporating Vispop because it would go against what we really want to happen, which is the grassroots campaign that it has become. But in fact, in that letter, ang money they always miss mentioning this. I gave them a counter proposal na let's do Vispop as a non-profit organization. I mean, if they really wanted to move forward with it, they had that choice to consider. They didn't even meet with me on that. They didn't consider it. It was just shut off. My complaint that I sent, walay response from Artisco. Walay official na how are we gonna resolve this? Wala. But my letter ended on an open statement na I'm willing to put my 101 commitment if we go this way, go forward with the non-profit route.
Yeah, you even stated Phil's Cap as an example,
yeah,
diba?
As an example, yeah. Muna siya.
So let's fast forward. So like that one, that didn't work out.
So after more than a year, muna sila nag-organize sila og akong understanding is si artist ko ni duol ni Batch 85 for them to they pitched Vispop 2019. And then they had already started their planning. But I think murag it's also sa benevolence ni Barney Borjano na I think he suggested na they approach me as well. Pero murag ang kato lagi kung giyon sa letter na more on they're soliciting my support for the project because they knew my disagreement with Artisco. So murag they were looking for a way to get me involved without starting
without taking sides.
So moto na they asked to meet me They told me about all their plans, and then they suggested that I write a theme song for the event, and I can also be part of the workshop, and maybe one of the judges, the screening committee, ana. So, but nakarealize ako na kuan gini siya. This is not just an invitation. It is an kanang request for support from me. So moto, again, just as what I've done before, I've always consulted. I mean, they always say no na I try to claim it as my own. No. Why would I consult everyone else if I just think of myself, of my own interests? I always ask Jude, I always ask Angelo, I always ask the songwriters. Kay mo ni siya, joint mo ni na muna ko. I'm never claiming that it was just me na kuan ang naghimuan ni no. Everyone was contributing to it. It was a community effort. So mo to, I consulted with them, and then we decided not to take the invitation. So ni balibad ko, and then mo na to, after that ni pursue man sila sa Vispop, and then because of obviously every one of us knew about it. It's what it was gonna happen ang katong launch. So when the launch happened, that's when the outcry happened, no? Na everyone knew the context. Everyone who made a post knew about the Vispop Inc. meeting, knew about the new meeting. So, nana sila yung context na nan. So, sayop tong giingon ni Insoy nga, ingon siya na ang nagsaba-saba may wakabaw sa kuan. Actually, they all know.
They're all part of it.
They were all part of it. So, in fact, in the letters, they signed the letters. So, they knew.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's right. Oh.
It wasn't just me. So, wala siya na moto na nagkuan on Facebook. Actually, na shock sad ko ang first na react yun si Jude. He was the one who started the posts, and then everyone else followed. Na ako kay medyo ako gyud kuan adto is I don't want to talk about it if I haven't filed a complaint, like a legal complaint about it, because ma-preempt man. Pero since everyone was so loud about it, so it came up in ni-reply na sad si Bisaya si Barney. So murag ako point ato when in speaking up is I have to defend my friends. I mean, I have to let people understand where the anger is coming from.
Yeah,
why are they so angry?
I remember like seeing the post, but it was very disjointed, and then there was no real focus as to where this anger was coming from. And then that's why when your post came out, katong that note on Facebook, of course I'll link it to everything in the show notes. Pero when your post came out, it became clear where all of this was coming from.
Yes.
No?
So, moto siya na I had to detail everything from the beginning till the kuan. I had to make a point na it was an idea that I had, and then kuan sad na ang katong the question about the IP na siya. So, everything else about it yun.
And then so artists ko also came up with their own rebuttal letter.
Yes.
And then but for me as a reader, murag it was just kanang pointing fingers. Ay mo kanina dili man ka dili wa masag namasag kay sa ano ba, and then
ang ako ala kay wa na address bito ang mga issues ako gipang bring up. Murag everything was diversionary ba na, like for example, dimension pag yun ang katong issue with alleged board member which is Katsuki. Si Katsuki
okay.
siya ang gi-refer.
Are you in a position to tell me that story? I have no idea.
No, dili ko ka tell sa story, but I can say it's Katsuki. They're referring to Katsuki. Pero I have the recibos of that. I know what transpired during that kuan. So pero I think Katsuki should be the one to talk about it. Pero kana murag that was so unrelated. Ang point being sa artist ko is because of that incident ni Katsuki like 7 years ago, muna ni himo kuan hinakuan just to avenge her. Wala sa katawan na bito na away ni mo komiga muna.
No, yeah, they you know, me I have wala ko'y manok ani ha, just to be clear, like it's I'm just reading what I read there.
Yes.
There are people that I talk to who I trust, and
Yeah,
then I trust their opinions.
Yes.
No? And then it seems like, I mean, because the artist ko statement to me, number one, no one is really taking ownership of it. We don't know who wrote it.
Yeah.
I mean, my perspective, like,
Yes.
I don't know. There's no name there.
Yeah.
It's just under artist ko. It's just under an organization.
Yeah.
Unlike you,
or even Barney, at least Barney, when he released his statement, it was there. No,
it was his
Barney
name. There was his name there. Yeah.
So everyone knew who wrote it.
Oh, exactly. So Murashag, it looks like somebody's hiding ba. And then, because you are really putting, the fact that you wrote that note and under your name, under your account, it was you who wrote it. You're making yourself, you're putting yourself out there, and you're making yourself vulnerable.
Yes.
No, because not everybody is gonna like what you said.
Yes.
For sure.
True.
Diba? And then that's the problem with the artist ko statement to me. It didn't really address anything. And then it was just pointing the finger at, just bringing up other issues.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, we don't know who it came from.
Yeah.
There's nobody we can latch on to ba?
Or at least they could have placed the signatures of the board members. Like, it could be ratified by the members of the board na we approve of the statement, we put our name there, di ba? Because in the co-op system, the board should be the ones to make that decision na what what statement to put out. So if they actually met on it, I have no information if they met on it or not. But if they met on it, which they should have done, the names of the board members should be there and signed by them. So it doesn't come off as like this, they're hiding behind the they're putting their name on it.
Yeah, so like, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know who wrote it.
Yeah.
Diba? And then, so, what has happened naman since then? So, I know there's a few things, like I have for me, like, one of the things that touches me personally is like the royalties.
Yeah.
Because ako, being a musician in the past, that is something that I can relate to.
Yes.
Not relate, but, because I don't really expect any royalties to be paid by way. Pero, like, I can side to the artist ba? Yeah. So has anything been done? Have they been paid or unsa man?
Wala pa gyud. Karon murag naay plano ang mga songwriters to take action actually.
Wala pa, because in the artist ko statement, they said nga they were in talks unya I don't know. That there was, it was being processed or whatever.
Naay mga songwriters na narimitan, not all selected. Pero even those who received the royalties have questions with their report because it was not a detailed report na. Mo ni ang thing about this. Bago na man good tag sistema ron. Like I always use the example of the old record labels. We produce CDs, right? So mayingon sa record label na we produce X number of CDs, ana mo ni atong rate per kuan imong madawat na royalties etc. Pero you have no really assurance na mo gina na number of CDs.
No idea.
You have no idea. And you just have to really trust them kay unsa man moadto ka sa kuan mag-ihap ka kung pila na ka mong CD so wala gyud. There's no way to kuan. Pero karon na bag-o na everything, all the Vispop songs are digitally kanang distributed. And being a kuan sa record label producer, I see how it works sa kadasig na kanang detailed you can report sa aggregator to us. So it cannot be the same kind of kuan na you give out a report na mura siya one-liner, pero ang the report that you're actually getting from the aggregators are very detailed, like Spotify USA, iTunes UK, to the least decimal point, to what date it was purchased, all that is there.
Like I was telling you, I was telling you, also before our interview, I was talking to my cousin.
Yeah.
I said, I'm talking to you. Are you familiar with the controversy? Ingon siya nga, kanang royalties not being paid, paid classic naman agaw. Ano siya nako? And then I told him, yeah, but the difference now is the numbers are out there. You can actually. So before with the record labels, you don't like they'll say we sold 10,000 copies of your CD. You don't really know that they sold 10,000 copies.
Exactly.
But if you're an artist now, all you need to do is go to Spotify, and then they have a number there.
Yes.
Average monthly listeners.
Yes.
You can go to YouTube. You can see.
number of streaming ko, exact number na siya. Dili na siya average.
Yeah, for sure. Once you get the report. But like, if you're the artist ba, like you can kind of, it's publicly available.
Yes. And the problem here is, Artisco is an independent record label. It's not like Warner or Viva na or huge kuan. This is like could be just one guy in his computer uploading the songs and all that, diba? So pwede gyud kayo na mabuhat actually. This is not kuan. Ang akong experience, you just download an Excel file and then you organize the Excel file and then you do the math there. Simple as that.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, I think when my perception based on what I read, no, is that so you left Artisco and then you started Kadasig.
No, I started Kadasig, Vispop 4. Vispop 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
But sige.
Mo nag-erase na nation nila.
Why man?
Ngano ko no naghimo kog Kadasig nga na may Vispop.
Yeah.
But I pinpointed it to them katong ako recent post nga actually there's nothing that's gonna stop me in the co-op law, in the bylaws of Artisco, or if they wanted to stop me, all they had to do was produce a board resolution. They never did that. No one gave me.
Also, it's not the same.
Exactly. Kay kanang ang Vispop is a songwriting contest. Kadasig was we were releasing one song per month.
Yeah, and then you're choosing them, you're working with people you trust.
Yes, nakuan sa gyud siya. It was meant really to supplement. And this is what Jude explained in his post no na kuan gud na ang Vispop happens only once a year, so you have 6 songs in a year. So in 1 month, so let's say July is when we release all the songs. So the rest of the months we have nothing after Vispop. So Kadasig was meant to supplement that with 1 song per month until we go back to the next year of Vispop. So in my show, which I direct sad, I'll have the Vispop song 6 songs lang, and then the other half of the show I have my other songs that we can promote. Diba?
Yeah.
Also, I mean, we started at Vispop 3 because nag-guess na namo ang tanan Bisrock bands before Vispop 3. So, murag na hunta namin ba? So, may atong ipang feature na artist
so
na Bisaya,
more.
di ba? Okay. Gamay ra ba ang Bisaya producing na kanang quality sad siya. So, we need to produce more.
But when you started Kadasig, that made you a record label of sorts.
Yeah.
And then, I'm assuming
crowdfunding campaign pa to siya nagsugod.
I want to ask you about that, pero later na. But anyway,
sure.
When you started Kadasig, it made you a record label of sorts, and then it opened the doors by showing you the back end of it.
Yes,
I assume.
Dito sa ko na namulat akong matawa na.
This is your light bulb moment. Wait. What happened?
Yes.
What about all of these songs that Vispop created?
Yes.
Where is the money going to? Because this is real money.
Yes. And then in fact, I posted in my letter na surprise ko na ang amount we received sa Kadasig for the little songs that we had in just a year was more than twice the amount that they accounted for the whole period, the full 5 years. So, makapunta na ko, wait a minute. Are you sure the math is right here? So, I was really being honest. Like, that was a very private information from Kadasig. I asked my partners, can we show this? And they agreed. They all agreed. Let's show it. Because it's a proof na there's revenue and this is how much we got in a year. I-compare ni mo sa Vispop, makapunta na ka.
Yeah, but how many songs did Vispop release, man?
30 songs na at that point.
30 songs. Yeah, and then there were some really big hits there, di ba?
Yes, there were big hits. Boklove, Balay ni Mayang, Dili Pa Panahon. Dagan yun siya.
Yeah, so that's the big question mark. I mean, we're not even talking about the actual deal of the art. Like here's my other question kay Murag. What was the deal between the artists and Artist ko?
Kini this is where I think I need to talk about kanang music business a bit here, no?
Oh, game.
Kay kaning kanta duha ni siya ka property. We have the composition, which is the music and lyrics, and that is produced by the songwriter, no, of course. And ang mo represent ana niya ang publisher.
Okay.
So for that property, ang composition mo na ang publishing agreement. And then there's that other property, which is a sound recording, which is owned by whoever spent for the recording, who paid to record that song. So siya ang owner. In this case, it's artist ko. They are basically the owners of the sound recording. And diha sad makabenefit si artist, whoever the artist is. Kaya lahi man, na may times na lahi si artist, lahi si songwriter.
Oh, yeah.
So diha kuhaon ang revenue sa ang royalty ni artist. Sa publishing kuhaon ang royalty ni publisher. Now, ang usual sharing ani niya sa industry standard coming from a major record label, it's usually 70% of the revenue goes to the sound recording owner. Siya na part of that is the royalty for the artist, like mga 10%, gamay na siya, 15. And then the other 30% is for the publishing. So magtunga, kung may publisher, magtunga si publisher 50-50 with the songwriter. So songwriter share is 50% of the 30%, so 15%.
Okay.
Oh. So kung daghan mo na songwriters, magtunga pagin mo sa 15%. Yeah. Ana siya. Ina na siya ka gamay. So, muna siya na ang katong design na ni songwriter is just the publishing contract. So, referring to the 30%.
Just the 30%.
Yes. So, most of the revenue should go to the owner. Who's the owner? Artist ko. The problem here, and this is where it gets so confusing for everyone, kay the guy who's uploading sige, kini. The publisher is ICO Music.
Yeah.
The guy who owns ICO Music is the same guy who manages Artisco, who is also the owner of the sound recording. Pero it's not his. It's the co-op's property. Okay?
He's the head of both.
Yes. So
this is si Ian Zafra.
Yeah, mo nang conflict of interest. That's the issue na akong giving up. Nga no, first, there's no report for some songwriters na question sa amount of royalties being received sa songwriters' end. That's the publishing side. On the other hand, are we getting reports sa co-op? Ang amo madawat no sa nagtanaw ko sa among kuan, it's a bulk amount. It's not kanang walay.
It's not detailed.
Detailed, yes, walay detailed. Nimiyon lang siya music licensing this amount. Pero we need to know. Okay, we are the owners, right? The co-op members are all owners of the property of the co-op. Mong kanilang cooperative, it's not a corporation, it's a cooperative. So, everyone should know how much Balay ni Mayang is earning at this point. Ana?
They should get a song per song basis on this time frame. 2011 to 15.
Both the songwriters for their own particular song and for the co-op members, the whole catalog.
Like a breakdown, yun.
Yes, And then, wala siya. Walay report. So, nakapangutan na yun ko, where is the money going? So, siya. That's one issue. Sana na sa issues na mo ang gi-raise karon sa co-op.
What are the other issues, man?
The other issue is PhilSCAP. Because Artisco has been serving as the collecting agent of PhilSCAP here in Cebu.
Can you explain that to me? Because somebody told me about that once. And then my understanding was, if you're a commercial space or a store or whatever, and then you're using music of any sort, any music, even if you're not part of PhilSCAP, you have to pay PhilSCAP?
Kay dili man ang members, ang mga users, ang business owners, dili na kailangan membership. The mere fact that you're using music, and in this case, man God, PhilSCAP is not representing only the OPM artists, the OPM songwriters. They're also representing kaning ASCAP, BMI, CSAC.
This international.
It's international. So they're basically, that's why they have the force of the law with them, because they're collecting for everyone.
But wait. So let's say songs under Kadasig, no? And then it's played...
Kami wala pa mi naka-furnish samang kanang membership with PhilSCAP.
No, but like that's my question. So let's say, so wala pa mo you haven't given your necessary documentation, whatever, to PhilSCAP. So, if I'm a store and then I'm playing songs from Kadasig, and then I have to pay whatever amount to PhilSCAP, how am I going to be like, I know that the amount that I pay, there's no way that you are receiving it.
Yeah. Kana,
isn't that strange?
Gray area gila siya. Bago pa mong guna na concept, especially here in the Philippines. So, dagan pa kay pwede na to ma-question ba?
I find that very strange. So let's say I start a record label. All my friends who are musicians, and then I tell them, paghimo mo, and then I also happen to have a store, and then I play all the songs of my friends.
Yeah.
And then somebody comes up to me and tells me that I have to pay a tax. Is it a tax?
Dili siya tax. Kuan niyo siya for use of the song. Kanang kuan niyo siya because kining PRO, they're collecting for the public performance of the songs. So public performance is any space na you play music, like in the airport, the restaurant, wherever, public places, kung i-play ang song, nagyunay royalties ihatag sa songwriters. Kaya ang principle yun na every time a song gets played, someone needs to get paid.
I understand that, but if like me, my rinky dink record label with all of my indie friends.
Yeah.
And then I'm not part of PhilSCAP. There's no way that my record label and my indie friends are gonna get the...
Ang selling point sa PhilSCAP, sa songwriters, is we're actually collecting on your behalf. If you want to get your money, you should be a member of PhilSCAP.
Okay.
Pero honestly, I am not the best person to ask about it. I am a member of PhilSCAP, by the way. I earn from PhilSCAP. Pero I think, dili ko makaklaim nga I'm 100% knowledgeable about.
No, but that's what continues to confuse me.
Yeah.
Murag, okay, but anyway.
Yes.
Sige. So,
and then kanasad, because there's a lot of confusion, there has to be a campaign to educate not just the songwriters but also the business owners. Diba? Murag, dapat there should be a kanang masuryaan na siya ba para ma-educate ang tanan. Para it won't come off like imposition na you need to pay. Instead na dapat ang approach is more congenial ba na kanang
it should be explained. This is what's going to happen, ana.
Kay nakuan sa gyud na ang PRO kuan ron. It's important to the songwriters because mo lagi nakuhaan man gud ta o sources of revenue. So we are not selling CDs anymore. So, medyo nibawi ta sa PRO mo na medyo nikusog yun ang kuan sa PhilSCAP because, of course, the songwriters want to earn from their songs. And one of the ways na wala pa kayo na-implement before, na karon na-implement na siya finally, is PhilSCAP.
Sige, so you were saying about PhilSCAP.
Yeah.
What about it? What about the issue with PhilSCAP?
Yeah. So, because Artisco is the collecting agent of PhilSCAP here in Cebu, so they have actually collected from all the establishments here and they get 30% commission. Kana. wala sad mi na.
That's not part. That's the.
I mean, it could be part of that music licensing.
Okay.
And then, di ba? I mean, principle lang na to is if you reported to PhilSCAP very detailed, of course they won't allow na dili detailed ang report, di ba? It has to be per place, per venue.
You would assume, yeah.
So, dapat same sa diyang report sa co-op members under which he is doing all this business under the auspices of Artisco. It cannot be ICO Music because ICO Music is a publishing record label kanang company. The other publishers in PhilSCAP would complain na conflict of interest na kay kining PhilSCAP kuan man ni siya, two set of members, ang songwriters and publishers. So,
okay.
The other half of it, the publishers would complain. In fact, they already complained before Vispop 2 pa lang na why is ICO Music the publisher of the Vispop songs? Nga kami sa dito, why don't we get to have the same opportunity as he? Isn't he monopolizing all the revenue na straight to his publishing company? So, there was that issue mo na pag Vispop 3, artist ko was not handing out publishing contracts anymore. They were asking the songwriters to sign an kanang mura siya kanang usan ni na document mura siya property na imong gi-endorse sa artist ko ang songs.
Okay, so not a publishing contract.
It's not a publishing contract anymore. Because to address the issue of the publishers lagi, they were complaining na naman ni bias towards one publisher na it should benefit everyone.
So but then so that's in Vispop 3.
So moto balik ko sa kung ano ang katong about the Philscap koan. So obviously he's doing all this business under Artisco, not ICO Music. It's impossible na ICO Music siya. In fact, it's in their statement. They said they were so busy last year mo nawalay Vispop because they were so focused on their work for Philscap. So pero mangutan na dapat ang co-op members, especially naman ko yung mga 20 na who are aware about this, but the rest, they don't know or they don't seem to care. Pero all these businesses were held under the auspices of Artisco, and the co-op kanang kuan maka-enjoy ba na siya tax exemption. So wala say taxes. So if it's not reported to the co-op members in such a detailed way, murag makapunta na ta ba na how true are this information?
Yeah, also,
and I'm talking about big money here. This is big money. I'm talking 6 figures.
Lagi. Yeah, and then also there's no one keeping track, no one checking.
So let's say 700,000 or 600,000. Pila man 700,000, 20,000 o pila man ang maadto sa artist ko, pila man ang 30% of 700,000. Inala siya kadako.
What is this? Wait, this is from the royalties?
No, this is from the collection, yeah.
The collection, the Philscap collection. Yeah.
So, dako siya, yun.
Ano siya kadako? Really?
Oh, yes.
How much are the rates man there? Like for these commercial... I think I'm familiar na with that.
Hindi ko familiar. Pero, I know na, kuhan gina siya 6-figure. Especially kani mga dagko na establishments na daghan kayo o franchises.
Oh, yeah, like a Bose Coffee or something.
Or let's say, Gaisano.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, medyo dako-dako siya. Naing gagmay, kung nasa dagko.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because these big places, they have to pay a lot more.
Yes. And it's regular, by the way, the payment.
It's yearly, diba?
Yeah. It's regular.
It's a yearly payment.
Usually, sa akong naibawaan, the first payment is always the biggest because naman ay kuan na retroactive ba na ever since the time you started your business you were using music, so you have to pay up to a certain point, and then maybe they give them a discount just to kuan start them paying. But usually the first payment is usually big.
So, presumably all of these issues will be addressed in the General Assembly.
In fact, the co-op members some of the co-op members asked for documents. Nangayon na sila, I have the list here. Nangayon sila sa MOA between Artisco and ICO Music. And then nangayon sila sa MOA between Artisco and Philscap regarding the licensing operations. Nangayon sila sa documents pertaining to the IPO trademark, the registration of Vispop, and then all the accomplishment reports submitted to Philscap from Vispop 1 to 5.
What happens if it's clear that there are irregularities?
Kuan na gina. I mean, it's a criminal case, by the way.
That's what I was wondering.
Yes, it is a criminal case. Right there. I should consult my lawyer for the right.
The term good, pero...
Oo. Ibasin masayop ko, pero kuan good siya.
But when you're gonna go to the General Assembly, I mean, presumably, you're not part of Artisco, so presumably you will not really have a...
Yeah.
You're just there almost to witness the proceedings and maybe answer questions.
Yeah. if kuan. Pero I hope they would give me a chance to kuan make a statement. I'm gonna prepare a statement. If not, I'm just gonna hand it out to them because I have all the information.
You have all the information pertaining to
all these issues.
No, but what do you mean? What information?
Kaning mga kuan, the kind of deals. I mean, I know the right questions to ask.
Alagi, yeah. But you mean you're familiar with the system?
Yes.
Yeah. Because
of all people, ako ra may PhilSCAP member na kanang active kayo na PhilSCAP sa artist ko. So I know about these things.
You're a PhilSCAP member. You are also familiar with like the amount of royalties that because like kana mga these online royalties, that's a very new thing.
Yes, very new thing.
Very new thing, dude. And then I mean honestly I like it because I remember being in a band before and in our heads, let's make music, lingaw, but we never really thought that there was no model ba.
Yes.
But now it seems like
there was a time na nanana siya, pero people were still ignorant about it. Like, there are instances nga some record labels would approach a band and say, hey, do you want your songs on Spotify or iTunes? And then the band says, yes, go ahead.
By the way,
they turn over their sound recording that they paid for, they spent all their money and energy, they give it to the record label uploads it, and then say, okay, I'll give you your royalties. But who owns the sound recording? It's the artist.
This pains me to say.
I'm talking about the Bisrock bands here.
No, but not even just them.
Bands turn over their properties to some record labels.
So, what happened to our band? So, I remember, this is where it gets very foggy for me.
Yeah.
What I remember was, because our band members, none of them are in Cebu naman.
Yes.
I remember receiving a Facebook message once from McCoy, our songwriter and singer. And he's like, hey guys, si Zafra sent a message. Do you want our music? Do you want to put our music in Spotify? Everybody's like, sure, bye, go ahead.
Pero diba, you were forgetting the part na once it's on Spotify, someone's gonna earn.
Not just forgetting the part. Like, we didn't know.
Yeah.
That didn't come, nobody thought of
and
that as a possibility. And I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure we didn't sign anything. I'm pretty sure I could be wrong. Granted. But it doesn't sound like me to just see a document and sign it for whatever. No? Because
or one of you might have signed it.
That's the thing, Sad. I don't know. But we have our own separate chat group on Facebook. And then like when this whole controversy came up, then syempre we started asking ourselves, do you guys remember how that happened? Like how our music came up in Spotify? And we were like, I don't remember signing anything. And I think it was just like, we just got a Facebook message if you want.
And then the thing about it, ang pinaka-funny, ang usually pasign niya yan is a publishing contract. That's just pertaining to the, di ba? 30%.
That's the 30%.
But you are the owner of the sound recording. There should be a separate agreement for that.
No, well, in our case, that's the thing I'm trying to say. I don't think there was an agreement. I think it was just like, do you want, Marshag, practice ta ugma? Oh, sige, practice ta. Oh. And it feels like that's how it was presented.
And then, kuan yun, I know a lot of Bisrock bands have done that.
That happened to them. Yeah, but I mean, I want to make it clear to anybody listening that we're not going, kami, Rescue Hero, our band, is not gonna earn anything from it, even if we uploaded it ourselves. Very little. But, just the idea about how many, I wonder how many bands did the same thing.
Explain ta na ninyo, unsay repercussions of like uploading it. Like, will he be reporting royalties? That should be one of the things that get discussed. Or what kind of deal is this? Diba? Not dapat na percentages na kano sa mo report royalties. It is standard for any record label to bring up to an artist or to a...
Mo lagi. Yeah, because if you think about it, Spotify, that's new.
Yes.
That's only in the past...
Yeah.
How many years?
Yes.
5 years, 6 years, where it's gotten really popular.
Yeah.
And then And then we're just talking about Spotify, but also the plays in YouTube. Those are all aggregated already. Yes. No? And all of the revenue is
ang apas yun sa record label at this point is sa kadagan songs nila, ang catalog, to build the catalog is the kanang business plan of any record label.
Mo bitaw.
So mo to yung gibuhat before. Nag-collect siya og mga songs, uploaded. In fact, I have kato akong gi-mention sa akong note, di lang ko mag-mention sa band, no, kay wa pa man ko nang permission, pero we've talked about it na katong moment na ni-sign sila sa publishing contract. Before then, na-upload na ilang songs na nag-wonder sila, ano naman sa Spotify among kanta, kisa may nag-upload. Before pa na sila nag-sign sa contract. And then, I did my research because I have them out. It's just a mere screenshot. Just go to Spotify,
you can see.
Look at the details. Who uploaded it? It's ICO Music. And it was uploaded like years before they signed a contract. So, who gave the yes signal for him? Because I'm talking to the band members, they never gave anyone any permission to upload their songs. So, wala
na ron. Kana, like, I guess, technically, like, for our songs, like, technically, there was permission, I suppose.
But, pero wala mo, dili mo, wala mo hatagig the full information about it.
I mean, that's what it feels like. So,
mura man siya, upload na to SoundCloud. Or upload
Muna,
na to.
that's why, lagi. Mura na siya kanang, that's what it feels like. It felt like, it didn't, nobody's really listening to our songs, but can you imagine if all of these other people who had a lot more popular music, and it becomes a substantial amount.
Karon man good bay, ang nakanindot aning digital distribution kay your songs are always there on Spotify. We don't know man good na nay makadungog na tao and use it in the movie and suddenly it becomes a hit 20 years after the fact. And then mo zoom ang ang streaming nimo na kuan. Who gets the revenue? It's the guy who uploaded it. So, kana lang. Artists cannot always see that man good eventuality po it happens. I tell you, di ba? There are hit songs na gigamit lang sa movie. It was unknown, never heard before, and suddenly it was used in a movie. It became such a hit.
On our so in our Facebook Messenger group with my bandmates. We're like, so bay, who wants to talk to Ayan and just, maybe have our songs taken down? You
can re-upload it by yourselves, man.
Yeah. What do you mean?
You can upload it by yourselves.
Even if it's there already?
No, you can ask him to take it down and then upload it yourselves.
Lagi, but I feel like no one wants to go through that awkward conversation. Like, ilang binuang is, Carl, dapat face-to-face na siya, bay. Kaya ako naman na sa Cebu. And I was like, ayaw, Makoy, ikaw may nag-storya ni.
Sa Undercover Grasshopper, si Katsuki mo in-insist. O Guanggues, kaya they were part of the ICO catalog ba at a certain point.
Really?
Yes. And then, when Katsuki she demanded na i-take down ang koan. So, she re-uploaded it to Tango na account.
Yeah?
Yes.
So she sent like a message.
Yes. Ano siya? You need a lawyer.
No, it's, we're not really thinking in terms of like monetary. We're like, it's ours, man. Good.
Yes.
No? Like, we have this attachment to our songs nga we can't.
Bito.
It's hard to explain ba?
Kuan yun siya. I mean, respect for your own work, sad. Na, kuan. I mean, it's not all about kanang who's earning or kuan. But the mere fact ba na it's yours. So, it's about time that you take control of it. And since there's no signed contract, you can actually just tell him right now. So, kuan yun siya. I mean, wala siya kuan. Wala implication on your end.
I'll let you know how that goes. So, what are the other things, man, about the issue that, like, that isn't out there?
Yeah. So mo ni Sharon kato nag-request nag-request na ang kaning co-op members sa mga documents. And the thing about it is ang reply was a bit kanang defensive and here's the thing. You're talking to the letter was directed to the secretary of the co-op. And then the secretary was replying in a way na kuan ko ni siya. These are co-op members. These are owners. So ang tone bitaw of reply was like, "Ngano naman ning pangayon? Do you have plans of using this in the GA?" I mean, ang co-op members were thinking to themselves na, of course, we're gonna discuss it. Kay, why else would we ask for it, diba? Kay, we need to discuss these things. I mean, why should you ask that question? And then there was a question pa yun na, where did you know about the date of the GA? Na, diba General Assembly is for everyone? Why should there be
the secretary asked, why do you know that there's a GA, basically?
She asked, now, where did you get the information? Ang katawa na kaya, ang ilang reasoning is, wala pa kuno na formally announced na mo ni ang date. Pero, ang funny thing, the next day, they issued ako on this date, exact date, we're gonna have a GA. So, murag, si co-member niyon, wala man so what's the issue? You were gonna announce anyway. We just had a heads up early on. So, where is the issue there? Why do you need to know where you got the
so
information?
So, it's clear that people are talking about it.
Kana.
And then there is...
And then, I mean, this is information that all the co-op members should know. If they're intending to have a good application of the GA, the General Assembly. Kaya if, ni selected Fiora na ilang kaila, and then they make decisions, hindi ba na siya unfair?
How does that work in the co-op? Should there be, when you have a General Assembly, let's say you said there's 90 members in the co-op, no? For sure, not all 90 will show up.
Na-quorum na 25, I forgot, 20% or 25%.
Okay. So, there's a percentage. It's less than half.
Yes.
So, as long as that percentage shows up.
Yes.
Then that's enough.
Yes.
To make decisions. So, in theory...
Kini manggod, ang GA, it happens once a year. In fact, it's required by law that a GA should happen every year. Last year, there was no GA. So, kana lang daan, problema na siya. Kaya nga no walay GA last year. Karon na ay GA. And then, kailangan na siya once a year because diha i-divulge sa board members what have been going on with the co-op. I mean, this is the time. Na the co-op members. And then, if there are decisions that are meant to be made by the GA, because there are some decisions that only the GA can decide on. Nana siya sa co-op law. So, those are the things na... So, I mean, issues about trademark or signing a contract with PhilSCAP, I mean, those are big decisions that have to be consulted with the GA.
Which it was not good.
Yeah, I think ang nabuhat is like inform.
By the way, this happened.
Ina na siya.
When was let's say the PhilSCAP one? When was that?
I
signed?
think it started before 2016 or around 2016.
So
it's been collecting. Artisco has been collecting since 2016 till.
So in 2016 there was no GA assembly.
Mo nang funny thing kay di ba nagsugod na 2016. I have evidence na co-op member na nanguta na kung naba siya share sa 2017 kung nabay nitubo ba iyang share ging na siya wala. And then curtly at that na yun, sorry, you do not have kanang sitaw na kanang wala kay sitaw na, there's a term for that.
Wala increase in value.
Wala increase in value because wala earnings ang co-op for this year. Then there should have been in that letter an attached financial report,
like an income statement or something.
I mean, the least they can do if they say there's no earning for this year is to, and then it was just flat out like
so that. So there was no dividend also, I guess.
Sorry, that's the right term, dividend. Yes. Blackout ko.
So
yes.
Has Artisco been giving dividends ba even before?
Yeah, naa siya dividends. Ako naglako-dako na akong supposedly ko nga mabot siya. Basta dako-dako siya na amount ang at na aggregate na kuan ba na amount.
Why wala day release?
Dili man na it's your option if you want to get it or not. So, in my case, wala gyud ko ni kuha sa kuha, so magsige na siya add up.
But you left naman the co-op.
Money siya ang funny thing because one of the things ako na notice sa artist ko is they don't even follow their own the protocol of what a co-op should how the co-op should operate. So, example, kaning kaning a member nga ni a member
who leaves the co-op,
ang termination of membership, dapat na board resolution.
Really?
Yes. Required na.
If a member leaves the co-op?
Yes. Kailan naman i-declare nila sa CDA na kini si member koan, wala na di na ni appeal. Na mo na nakuhaan, ina na ba? Kaya i-declare mo na nimo. So, it needs a board resolution and ihatag balik ni
ilang shares
ni member. Pero in this case, I went through the bylaws, gi-change ni, kaya pwede man ma-change, no, according to, inyong bylaws, pwede ninyo ma-kuhan to your own needs. So, in Artisco's bylaws, ang naitabo is, even if na kuhan na si member, na-terminate na yung membership, ang kuhan is, kung dili makaabot sa, ang revenue for Artisco of the co-op that year, kung dili maka-pay up sa amount, i-carry over lang yapon and it will continue to be carried over until ma-release nila. They have the capacity to release the money. So, si Katsuki, everyone who resigned na pa-kwarta sa co-op.
Really?
Legally that they can kuan even if they're no longer members because it's under the bylaw na kuan nga murag fix nila ba kay I think the reason there is they don't want to release the money. So gihimon la silang bylaws na dili la kuan ba na kung dili maka abot sa
so that one was added in that was amended.
It was an amendment. So makari over gyapon. So we have non-members na who still have shares in the co-op.
That's strange.
Myself included.
Yeah, those shares, if the co-op does well, then those shares increase in value.
Yeah. Pero murag kung non-member ka, wala na kayo deciding kuan.
Yeah, wala na kayo. You have no say. You're not part of the GA anymore.
Pero ang imong kwarta, nagtubo pagyapon. Kung na-progress.
Why is kani si Brian ba? What happened with Brian? Brian Sacro ba?
Kadto kang Brian, ako siyang gitag sa kong post because he's been telling his clients na akong sayop ko no is naghimo kog kadasig nga naapay Vispop. So I just pinpointed to him na under the law, nothing stops me as a member. I was never an officer. I was never part of the board of directors. I was a pure and simple member. So, under the members' rights and kaning responsibilities, wala dito nakabutang exclusive ang akong tanan projects under the co-op. But, on the other hand though, the directors have a kanang prohibition. They cannot engage in business that is kanang mo compete with the co-op's business. I guess na-touch iyang kon kay he thought na I was referring to him being a music producer, owner of a studio. Kay mo man ang nature of business of artist ko, music production and all that. But I was actually referring to Ayan.
Yeah, that's what I thought of.
And then he was acting defensive ko. So if the shoe fits, wear it. So moto siya medyo na-irk siya siguro na-trigger siya to. And then, he went on this rampage, which I think, na may points ito na sakto. Like, I had that client who had a complaint against me. Pero, at this point, that's not an issue. That's my issue with my client, and that was resolved. Like, I eventually submitted my song, and that's the end of that. I mean, for him to mention all these other things na non-related to the issue at hand, so murag, personal,
lagi, that the thing is, it seems like what's happening on the other end of the argument ba?
Yes.
What's happening, from my perspective, like I want to say again, wala ko'y manok. I am not part of any side here.
Yeah.
But on the other side, it just seems like name calling na noon. Where it's the incorrect way to fight ba. No? And then
because I was really vocal about it because it was kanang demeaning my work with Kadasig. I mean, that's something that I really hold kanang precious ba. So if anyone says, in fact, katawanan kay kami ni Brian, we've never worked with each other. I've never collaborated with me, with him. He never collaborated with me. And then, for him to have something to say about me was kind of weird. So I had to pinpoint it ba na, kanang murag, where is this coming from? Na kining imuhang kon. And then, to talk against Kadasig, murag medyo crossing the line siya. So I had to correct him. Because he is board member, by the way. So he should know the rules. He should know the co-op laws and bylaws of Artisco. But as that it showed there na wala gyud siya kay bawo, wala siya ka-identify na mo ditong bylaws sa akong gipost. I mean, one look at it could have been, this is the bylaw. Pero if you did not know that document, if you haven't perused it, if you haven't studied it as a board member, then you wouldn't recognize it. So, moto.
Well, Mona, it seems like, at least based the way you talk, it seems like that the people in Artisco right now, they don't, it doesn't seem like they've read the bylaws.
Ako alang good. I think there's a wrong understanding of how a co-op operates sa kasagaran members. Kay there's always the presumption na kanang like when I propose a project na kanang I'm winning my intellectual property, wala man na siya sa among nasaynan na that I should course all invitations to Artisco. So if there are those rules, there should have been a board resolution telling me wala ko nadawat na ilan na.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Like kung katong case sa Bohol ba na I was invited. I should inform them. Murag, I mean, I've been doing workshops way before I joined Artisco. So I've been giving workshops. So murag, it's kind of weird na right now, because I'm a member, I have to inform them of all my activities. Murag, sa mani, artist management.
Lagi.
I never signed such a contract or a deal with them. And then also that I should, whenever I start a new initiative like Kadasig, it should be with their blessing. Mura man siya kuan. Kay ang point na gyud ani nako no is kung si Artisco pa lang nagkuan gyud siya, nagcare gyud siya sa mga artists, they should have invested in the Vispop songs, like produce music videos, provide gigs for their artists. Wala man.
So Artisco, you didn't invest on their artists. There was no music videos.
Wala exposure. Like
there's no showcase event.
Yes.
And, aside from the actual.
Kanang mga little gigs ra kung makitaan every now and then, like sa SM na gig, na kanang kuan acoustic gig. Pero ako amang good point before sa when I was doing Vispop, ganahan tala ko na ang every time the Vispop artist sings their song, dapat it's exactly how it's heard on the record ba?
Which produced kayo.
So dapat it should be a full band set up. Which is, muna ako ang idea for Bisaya Music Festival. Na-notice mo na, it's always full throttle. Like, walay hunos dili, kuhan yun siya, full.
Yeah, you're not holding back. Like, you have like session musicians.
Yes. Because that's what I want the people to hear. Na it cannot be an acoustic version of the recorded material. Kaya, I mean, they're not getting their full money's worth if it's not the full band set up. And I've never encountered any project by Artisco na inan ang setup. It's always acoustic. It's always a little gig here and there.
Because those big setups, they cost money.
Yes.
And yeah, same thing like with the music videos. Like you mentioned, there's no music.
It's always cost. Oh. Pero they need to, I mean, kung ni-support din mo sa artist, di ba? You should invest a little bit, put your money where your mouth is, and invest in your artists.
But also...
And also build value, di ba? To your, sa inyong songs o sa inyong artist.
Yeah, because like I said, katong off mic, nga murag, I think the mistake with artist ko was they were nickel and diming the artists, the musicians, the songwriters. Oh, you're doing this. Oh, we need a percentage. You're doing that. We need a percent. But actually, like, let's go back to the music video.
Yeah.
The music video makes money.
Yes.
If it does get a number of views or hits,
yes.
And I mean, not every music video will make money.
Yeah.
But if you do, it's same as the song ba?
Yes.
So like my kato example was Ha Ha Hasula.
Yes.
7 million something views. You guys spent money on that. And I'm sure the money that you guys spent on that, nabawi na.
True. Kana, one of the other aha moments nako was when Fat Boys got the first paycheck when we started ansay tawag ni kaning monetizing our videos. Kay kinanglan na siya PayPal account and all that, so it took a while for us to get there. And then when we did it, na-shock me sa first paycheck, kay it was around 200,000.
Oh yeah?
On the first mo, because kuha to siya from all the times that we haven't been receiving.
Yeah.
So,
it just accumulates.
So nakathink ko karon sa Balay ni Mayang og Duyog, which we actually produced ourselves. Now we were not earning because the one monetizing it was ICO Music.
They're the ones who
because
uploaded it online.
Sa ilang aggregation, sa ilang man aggregator naka-upload.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So they get to collect 100% all the revenue from those two music videos. So, meaning to say, we invested in it, Fat Boys, who is earning ICO Music. Is he reporting to artist ko? Another big question. Is it part of that huge licensing amount? So, muna siya. Makapota na yun ka ba? I mean, that's why
I think I want to be clear lang just to in case the listener doesn't understand ba. So when you have music, your own personal music, you can put it online, you use a service, and then when you upload it to the service uploads it to Spotify, tells YouTube that you own this song.
Yes.
So that if anybody uses the song or plays it on Spotify, the person who uploaded the song gets the revenue from it.
Yes.
So, for example, if I make a vlog, or like a vlog, I'm here, and then I'm using Ha Ha Hasula in the background.
Yes.
The people who uploaded Ha Ha Hasula get paid.
Yes, not the vlogger.
Not the vlogger.
Yes.
Yeah, well, the vlogger gets a different cut. But like, the people who have their music on these aggregators, like TuneCore or CD Baby, correct ba? Then that's how they earn revenue.
Yeah.
So
moto in that scenario, we spent for the music video both sa Balay ni Mayang ug Duyog, and the one earning is ICO Music.
And then this one, there was no agreement whatsoever.
Wala. Amo tong initiative kaya amo nakita ni Kurt. Si Kurt gyud ang ni suggest adto. Kay kanang ingon siya na ang akong gripe about it was our songs never get nominated on mix or played on mix because we don't have a proper music video. So ni volunteer si Kurt na maghimo siya music video sa Balay ni Mayang sa Duyog, and that's how it started. Kuha na siya, volunteerism. That's how he always operated.
So the idea was to give it to mix, actually.
Yes, and it was eventually played on mix. Natukarga siya sa mix.
But then, the afterthought was put it on YouTube, which apparently that's where the revenue comes from. Wow.
Jud. Kana siya. We really take issue sa katuilahang letter bito na ingon sila na we are the first immediate beneficiary of Vispop. The artist ko statement ba niyon dito na kami ko ang immediate beneficiary na ako think na how ungrateful of you na we in fact invested in it, we did things na on our own na would benefit the brand, would benefit artist ko, and then you tell us na we are the first we're the immediate beneficiary.
Which is like, you're thinking like, dapat lang, right? Like, you're the one putting the blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah,
exactly.
So, there's nothing wrong with that.
Dili wag yun laway ang punang, like we invested money and effort I mean, you cannot produce a music video without spending money.
Yeah.
Diba? So, kana siya, murag nalimtan siguro nila or they chose not to accept that fact. Pero, someone is earning up to this point. Every time someone plays Balay ni Mayang on YouTube, ICO Music is earning.
Yeah, and then kana lang, the question is, correct me if I'm wrong. So
Yeah.
like Balay ni Mayang, ICO Music is supposed to get 30% lang.
As publisher, yes.
As publisher.
And then
the 70,
si artist ko dapat may mo kuha sa
the 70%.
Yes.
And then artist ko has a different deal with the actual people who recorded it.
Sakto. Ang line na deal sa
the 70% ba?
Yeah,
so the 70% goes to whoever paid for the recording and who sang it, diba?
Yes.
Ana.
Yes. The artist.
So the artist, okay. So artist ko has a separate deal with the artist pag yun.
Wala na siya. Kay murag ang setup ana sort of like dili ni siya standard nationwide worldwide no, pero kasagaran man good deal sa Pilipinas is the artist gets a one-time payment. Unlike sa international, artist gets a one-time payment per song that they record, but they have the opportunity to earn from their gigs.
Okay, so so the royalties that you're talking about, that's really just for the publishing. That's just from the 30%.
Yes.
Oh.
And then the bulk of the money should go to artist ko as owner of the sound recording.
Okay. So kana like when you're talking about like the writers of Balay Simayang you're talking about the songwriters.
Yes.
These are not the ones who I'm not familiar with. These are not the ones who sang it.
Yes, no. We're talking about the songwriters.
The songwriters.
Yes.
Oh.
Wala siya.
So, is that standard? Like if you have a contest, then the one who recorded it, so they get a big time one-time fee.
Yes.
Kunya, and then after that, wala na.
Sa OPM ko na siya. That's mo nang gina-apply sa OPM nga usually in an album the artist gets a one-time fee per song. Pero ang sakto gid na nagyo siya percentage.
Unta. Like if you look at international deals, even international deals, there were like complaints of like super bad deals, like katong like TLC ba to?
Yes.
They're like a super known one, diba? Like grabe kayo sila ka world renowned, yung murag was sila mga kwarta or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, this
ang katong kuan man sa good mga interpreters, wala man sa toy agreement na nasaynan. With artist ko.
No? Interesting. So I know that. So what's up? What happened to the Vispop contest now?
Yeah, karon kini kuan based lang on their website na change na siya no. So dili na Vispop 2019. It's become Visma Visayan Music Awards. So kini this is not this information did not come from the organizers themselves. I just observed it sa ilang website because I'm personally not involved in this.
So you have no involvement whatsoever
in Visma.
To the Visayan Music Awards.
Pero gi-check na ko ilang website. Apparently kuan siya. It has two components. There's an award show. That's according to the website, murag kanang it's honoring the main contributors of Visayan music, and then there's that other na songwriting contest. So it's probably gonna be two components kana, and then na dito sad na ang organizer is Batch 85. There's no mention of Artisco or ICO Music.
So
or
it's probably safe to say they cut ties.
Yes,
after
probably
this
from
thing
that website
exploded.
And then they also included a board of kaning advisors. So included diha si Mr. Si Christine Bendebel, who's a very respected publisher in the country. I know her personally, and I can really vouch that she's a good publisher. So kana sila, and then there's Apple the App, there's Another kuan. So kuan medyo legit yun ilang board of advisors.
And then so as of today,
in fact,
we'll date it.
So Mr. C asked me just a few moments ago na money mong kaaway ang akong kuan ko dili maestro ko ani siya ang batch 85 ang atong giduol.
He was making sure.
He was just making sure.
Yeah, sige, I guess we should so the thing with batch 85 is they just found themselves in an unfortunate situation.
Unfortunately, yes. Oh, that's the point that I made sa akong statement na dili sila ako ang question. It's really artist ko. Ang among history with artist ko and Vispop.
So as of today, April 9, they have not contacted you for anything.
Because I've been sharing their website, their Facebook page. Ni text na si Sir Barney nako, thank you. And ni-acknowledge sa ko niya na anytime if you need anything posted on the unofficial Vispop page, you can always tell us and we'll disseminate the information. Because at this point, I also feel we really need to support this project because this is gonna take it a step forward. I mean, the way it goes, how it's designed, I really think it's a good idea. It's a brilliant idea na it's a new direction ba?
No, but it's also, you're also supporting the idea that it's a big pun. There's room for everybody.
Exactly. That's our kuan sa Vispop page, Vispop Parastanan. This is, we're opening the doors for everyone to participate in this campaign. And if we have major players like Batch 85 who have all the money, so diba, this should be a good thing for us.
Yeah, all the better because now there's real funding that's coming in.
And they have they made an assurance that the artists are gonna be protected, their rights are gonna be protected. So I rest on that assurance na, especially with their board of advisors, one can't go wrong with Maestro Ryan Kebiab and Christine Bendebel, in my opinion. So that's why when I saw their names, no questions, I shared, I promoted it on our pages, and that's it.
Wow, this would be interesting to...
Yeah.
When did you say the GA was?
Will be. At this point, kay Kuaman, April samantaron. So, it's April 13 ang GA.
It's in a few days. It's in 4 days.
This Saturday. Siya.
Is there anything else that you think will be addressed or?
Kato kung main point siguro. Because kibaw naman sa mga co-op members sa mga issues. So I'm sure they're gonna raise the issue about the deal between Artisco and ICO, Artisco and PhilScap, the IPO trademark of Vispop, and then katong the songwriters problem with their royalties. And then katong kuansad, they should really furnish the copies of the board resolutions declaring each of those agreements valid, diba? Because if this was discussed in a session, there has to be a board resolution after the session, and there has to be minutes of the meeting after each session. So these are some of the things that the co-op members are asking for, no? And then, of course, the financial statement from 2013 to present.
And is there going to be someone who will, review the validity of those financial statements?
Okay, since the co-op members are getting copies of it, if he allows Artisco, so each of them can actually make their own action pertaining to those documents.
So
it's the opportunity for the co-op members to really peruse the documents and see if what I've been saying here are true or not. Were those
documents released na?
Wala pa.
So most likely they're gonna just release it on the day of the GA.
I don't know if they're even gonna release it or they're just gonna present some PowerPoint presentation or some summary. Pero what the co-op members are really asking for are the details.
Because I would assume that if there's a GA, you only have it once a year.
Yes.
That you would want all the information beforehand.
Yes. Mo gani.
So that they can make a decision on that once a year meeting.
Yeah, actually, in the letter of the co-op members, they stated na they should submit those documents at least 3 days before the GA.
So what happens if it's not submitted?
Kana, that's another issue. Pero you know what? I mean, there's always we can always recourse to the law in these matters. So, kung dili ni siya ma-resolve within the co-op, I mean, this is an opportunity for Ayan to settle things with the co-op members. If wala may tabo na settlement or kanang explanation or even just the documents, I mean, no explanation necessary. They just have to show documents that the co-op members are asking. If wala, then wala ni siya. I think we need to move a step forward. You have to really recourse to legal action at this point. Siya.
Wow, that is that's such a crazy kanang if it does come to that ba.
Yeah.
Wow, like di ka it's such a crazy thing to think, at least for me, I'm like, oh wow, like it really is going to go there. No?
But even the songwriters end, they
already have like legal recourse. That's right.
To do a legal action. Yes.
Wow. Well, I want to make sure we also talk about the stuff that's coming up with you, guy.
Na-depress ka?
No. Like I mentioned, I mentioned, like there were people online who were sad nga this whole issue came about. Like, they love the songs and then now they're listening to the song is tainted with this issue na ba that has nothing to do with the actual music. Yeah. And then I was saying, actually, it's a good thing, assuming this is all true. Yeah. It's a good thing that this is out there because artists have really been screwed over a million times over. And then now, for the first time in a long time, the artists now really have a voice. Yeah. And then they can really see the numbers in a way. Kaya, as you mentioned in the beginning, previously, like if you're a record label and then the record label says we sold 10,000 copies of your CD, you don't really know that they sold 10,000 copies of your CD. Yes. No? Now,
it's all digital.
It's all digital, and then you can get a report.
Yes.
You can see, even if you don't get a report, you can go to YouTube and say, my music video has this many views. Yeah. And then you could do even a quick Google search. One view is equal to approximately how many US dollars. And
magvary na siya.
Yeah, I'm sure magvary. But assuming like if you don't, one of the reasons for this podcast is to get people to ask the right questions, and then because to know what to Google.
Yeah. True.
So, if it got 5 million views, and then let's say, on average, each view is worth 1 centavo, 1 US cent, a penny. You can still do very simple math.
Yes.
Diba? Diba? And same thing with Spotify.
Para na ko, siya, growing pains yun siya for this industry. And para na ko, it's setting a precedent everyone can learn from.
Yes, that's why I don't think it's a bad thing that this is out there.
Yes, actually. No? Kaya, I mean, ang growth sa atong industry karon nag-progress man siya by leaps and bounds. So muna necessary sa yun na ma-bring up ni mga topics about agreements, about royalties, about how a record label operates para aware ang tanan. Especially for artists, because artists, especially in the beginning, all they want to do is make music. They don't care about the majority of the artists, they don't care about all of that stuff. Yeah. And then if they so happen to trust somebody who is unscrupulous, who doesn't care about the artist, then luoy kay sila. Mojud.
Which is what happened.
Mojud. That's exactly what's happening right now. And then, pero wala siya na, I mean, this is an opportunity for us to create something new here in Cebu. I mean, to start something new ba? I mean, we cannot behave like the old major labels. Like, this is an opportunity to create a system na sustainable, but at the same time, transparent and friendly to the artists. So, kana siya.
Malagi. Yeah, Mona, so I'm not... I don't know, I think you're looking at me, you think I'm sad. Good. No, but like, I'm more like, wow, I'm just surprised a little bit if you see all the intricacies of it ba.
Yeah.
And then, because these are people who, everybody that we've mentioned in this podcast, these are people that I respect and, grew up listening to.
Yeah. And honestly, ang artist ko sad, pag sugod niya, nindot man ang sugod sa artist ko. That's why, in fact, kung sa ko, committed ko to artist ko, like when was I a member? 2008. So since 2008, I've been part of artist ko. And we started out, di ba, with songwriting, Songwriters Night.
Yeah,
diba?
Okay.
Na regular to siya. And then magtanaw ko sa mong posters before, ba nagrabiya sa mga idealism, sa mga passion at that point. And then ako, nakitaan yun ako ang clear mark na ni change when Vispop happened. And then there was success, there was an opportunity, and suddenly, nawala na itong Songwriters Night. Wala na ang katong initiative to really go on. Because everything is focused on Vispop. I mean, for a long time, Vispop has been the only successful project of Artisco. So basically, all the efforts were there. And then, na-left out, wala na yung other initiatives ba? So, I mean, even let's say, ni-succeed si Vispop for 3 years, the first 3 years, there could have been an effort to like produce other Bisaya songs aside from
just the Vispop,
the contest.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is what I did.
With Kadasig.
Yeah.
So, you did it on your own na lang.
Yeah, and then, I mean, if I did it on my own, they could have done it on their own too. If they think na it's I was competing, I mean, let's compete. It should be a good thing for the industry. If we put out Bisaya songs, you put out yours. When did Jewel Villaflores album come out? After the issue exploded.
Yeah, that's right.
Jewel was under ICO Music from Vispop 1. 5 years happened and then wala. Kano sa man siya nag-album? After Vispop 5. So, I mean, maklaro ni mo ba na you had that artist from day one and you never did anything for her. So, karon ra ka na ni-act up kay because you need to prove something or what? Or to show kanang your own initiative. Pero, that could have been done during Vispop. Like, you could have been investing on other artists, not just the songwriting.
That's right. I forget that you're right. There's so many things that could have been done.
Yes.
While Vispop was happening, because Vispop was a 2-3 month thing.
Yes, exactly. Ano siya? So, I mean, murag lack of vision siguro on their part or lack of creativity.
And then also, like what you just said, like, so you compete.
Yeah.
Whose songs become it. For me as the listener, it's all the better.
Yes.
More music is always good. And then,
true.
At the same time, it's a big pond.
Yeah, and then why should they, if someone is producing their own songs, di ba? Why should that be an issue?
Exactly.
Nang pugna naman ni noon. Why not give it, just because they don't have a share in the pie? Murag, ilahang hunungon. So, muna ang point ako na, I mean, tanaw lang na to kung unsa man gyud nahatag sa artist ko sa mga artists sa sugod sa Vispop. So kung apart from the contest itself, were there other initiatives that the co-op made for the artists except for the little gigs here and there? I know there was a mention of a trip to Manila, but that was once and wala sa siya follow up. So murag kadto that came about because they were invited by Linggo ng Musikang Pilipino. That initiative did not come from them. I mean, I'm looking for projects na let's do this. Anong their own initiative ba?
Yeah.
Siya.
Ay. Well, we've been talking for a while, Jude. Yeah, murag it really kanang it gave some clarity to some of my questions, and then also at the same time I hope like people just get a better sense ba of ngano mangyud ni.
Yes.
No? So I think we can end there unless you want to add something. Is there something that I missed?
No. Murag sa pa man. Yeah. Ay kuan lang murag magkuan lang ko mag-promote lang ko, no? So Kanasig is still going on right now. We're still producing songs. Ang next single na mo coming up is a single from Okaraga na sad. They're gonna release 3 singles before we start doing the crowdfunding with Okaraga and Jerica Choririco. They'll be producing their full-length albums this year. So it's slated si Okaraga to release by July and si Jerica sometime November or December.
Nice. The crowdfunding ba? Yes. I have a question about that. So like, how did you get people to do that? How did you get people to
Actually, I attended one of these events ni Katsuki, and I met their Patch Dulay.
Yes,
who's the founder of Spark. And that's where I get the idea. No? Yeah, bito, no? That's a good idea to do for our artists. Because kanang it's based I mean, what I really like about crowdfunding is it's basically teaching your audience to pay for the music without them thinking or feeling like they're being forced. Eh, di ba, we always say na support artists, pay for the music, but it kind of sounds annoying because you're insisting na, but if the way you converse with your audience, like, if you help us now, we'll give this, you're gonna be part of the production of these songs. So if you're making the audience part of the experience, then it would be a different kind of conversation. So, and then you will be able to engage them, you will be able to get their support. So that's what we do in sa crowdfunding, especially when we did it the first time, amo ang rewards adto is the Ha Sula Seria album. We actually, the idea came from the success of those songs. Because there was such a need for those songs to be released ba. And we didn't release it until we did the crowdfunding. So motto na we used it as the reward, and then if you buy that album, you're gonna support the next ones, which we produced eventually one song at a time after 2016.
So was it as easy as uploading it to Spark Project? And yeah, then people started and then sharing the link to Spark Project, and people started.
Ang Spark Project was the website for where you can deposit your send your money. They had that function there, but we actually on the back end we get all this information, and then we email all these people individually. So digital mo ang kuan pag release sa music. But at the same time, we have the music. We also have shirts for sale. So motto, ang shirts are obviously diri ra sa Pilipinas available, but a lot of our supporters came from outside of the country. So yes.
No, but what I'm saying is, when you got people to fund it, was it as easy as just putting it in the website?
No, it was hard work. Grabe as in.
Like, how did you promote it ba?
Sa social media, because we had medyo Malito on board and Therese Villarante on board, so they were our influencers.
Yeah, we have a huge audience.
Yes. And then also, of course, the songs were very popular at the time, mga Sula, Protic Ra. And then lagi the kind of language that we use with our audience is dili to buy our music, but ningon me na you want to support your artist, you buy this album and you get the other one for free. So ina na siya. Mura siya kuan. It's a win-win situation for kuan.
So more nindot sa judog value.
Yes.
Ang makuha sa audience.
And then they get to have that good feeling ba na they're supporting their artist in a very kanang concrete way. So kana siya. Eh mo nang benefit sa crowdfunding. And then, so, we were able to raise around mga 260,000 siguro. So, we didn't reach our mark na 300. Pero that was good enough.
Yeah.
We had 260,000. We were able to release one song per month. After then, I think nagsugod me February 2017. 2016 ba to? Kalimut ako. 2017. And then, one song per month. Then, the next year, 2018. So, nagpadayon siya hangtod karon.
And then that one, then there's a whole formula, I suppose. Once you have the song out, if it's a good enough song, you make a music video.
Yes.
Put it out. I guess lyric video.
Yes, lyric video ginauna. Kaya ang principle mo, the more kanang materials, the better for the song. So in different forms.
I'm excited for the new albums. But you're also doing the Bisaya Music Fest, another one?
So, karon March 6, this is actually co-organized with Mandaue City Government as part of their 50th anniversary fiesta. So, we are doing Bulawan Bisaya Music Festival. So, kuan siya, ang theme karon kay Golden, kay 50 years man sa Mandaue. It's about right because we did the first one in Mandaue anyway. So, when we were approached to organize it, it was a no-brainer na we should do it with Mandaue. And this time, it's gonna be a free show. So, because it's the fiesta, so it's open to everyone.
Where's it gonna be?
This is in front of the City Hall.
Ah, nice.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. That's like a cool venue. Kay Murag at least different ba?
Yes. So, muna siya.
Pero wala pa yung details. Like, you don't have the artist.
May 6.
Aside from the date. Like, it's a may...
naman. We have Lourdes Maglinte, we have Jerica Chudorico, we have Mampor and me, who else? Okaraga, of course, will be there. Medyo Malito, Motherfucker will be there.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and kana siya. I think there are a couple of artists I forgot.
Skatsuki will play a Bisaya song?
Yes, she does. I have a Bisaya song
with
her.
That's right.
Yeah, so kana siya. We hope na kining BMF would be a yearly thing. So we're really looking for partners at this point to keep that going. And
putting up a show like because the last BMF was with Pop District
Bazaar.
And it was really good.
Yes. Dako kay ko pasalamat nilang Charmaine for supporting that first venture to sa
that's
BMF.
a no joke show. Like that was
we had
there were dancers, there was like some of the artists like had like a whole choreography gyud, nice storytelling, ano ba? That was really good.
Pero at least so good siya, then masundan siya year after year. So hopefully, mas-sustainable siya.
One last thing, cutting this musical with Katsuki, speaking of.
Yes! Oh, this is still in pre-prod, pero we want to get this stage by October of this year. So, we're probably gonna start auditions next month.
So, I saw man that you guys were doing like reads.
Yes.
They're in room 11.
So, karon pa. Ang kuwang na lang is the final draft na approval ni Katsuki. And once we have that, then we start with auditions.
Nice. So the story is fleshed out na...
Yes, nanang story. Ang kuwang na lang actual writing. There nalay a bit of rewrites that we need to do. Pero the story is approved by Katsuki na the songs, the use of the songs. Yeah. That's exciting. This is not based on the life of Katsuki, by the way, because that's what she insisted on. Don't base it on my life. So
it's her songs.
It's all her songs,
nice.
But the story is original. We really just wrote the story around the songs.
Kana mga like that's another.
Yeah.
Speaking of big productions, I feel like we're talking about Bisaya Music Fest.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big production, hard to do. I can't imagine what a musical must be like to produce because
we did it twice already.
I mean, not only it's not like you put an artist there, right? Sing your song.
Yeah, no.
For this 5 minutes, ikaw na bahala. But like with a musical, everything,
every detail has to be taken care of.
Yeah, each night is a little bit different.
Yes. What musical did you watch?
I haven't seen any.
You haven't?
Sayang, my sister watched one. I forget now which one, but she said like nindot daw kayo, and I'm like, yeah, like wow.
Is this Facebook?
I think so. I'm not
the
sure.
The first one we did, and then Gumangyatay was the second one, and this is the third one.
Mo bitaw? Wala ka lang ko ka-timing.
Well, dapat we should invite you.
Well, I will find a way to go.
Yes.
Well, that's exciting, bay. It's exciting. Yeah. Do you want to add anything else?
I think that's it.
So, where can people find you online?
Yeah, kuan. Sa Facebook, it's facebook.com/Jude Gitamondoc. But my music can be found on facebook.com/Songs of Jude Gitamondoc. And then we also have our page sa Kadasig. It's facebook.com/Kadasig Bisaya. And we also have Bisaya Music Fest. That's facebook.com/Bisaya Music Fest. And of course, the officially unofficial Vispop page is still there. We are accepting entries actually from that page. But mo na siya, given na ang Visma karon, I would suggest na those people who submit their songs sa Vispop would kanang submit the songs na they don't think they won't pass as entries to Visma. So kay once ma-publish man gud na sa Vispop page, dili na siya eligible for as entry sa Visma.
So like maybe like submit the Visma
or the old songs. I mean sa Visayan Pop, they can actually submit the old songs that they've released already. In fact, some of the songs that we've released on the page in the past 2 months are already pre-released. So, murag, amo lang gi-boost ang ilahang kanang exposure.
Just sharing it to a different audience.
Yes. Especially sa katong, amo na build na audience na katong Vispop yun na mga audience. Kay, like for example, si Cookies, ang iyang audience ay the hip-hop community, but we brought it to the Vispop page and then the kanang usual Vispop listeners get to hear the song. Ano siya ang
which
goal
is very different from the usual Vispop.
Yes. Moso na ang point ako na sa the whole Vispop 1 to 5, daghan pa kayo wala na cover like our screening committee cannot quite accept yet at that point ang hip-hop or EDM. So those were the two genres na naay mo submit pero dili mo pasar or kuan. So, medyo wala pa ina na representation sa Vispop, the 30 songs from Vispop 1 to 5. So, ang nakanindot ron kay everyone is just running with the idea ba na use Bisaya in whatever genre.
Yeah.
So, we have hip-hop songs, we have rap songs.
There's so much music now. I cannot keep track of everything that's coming out. I know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I cannot keep track of everything that's coming out.
And in fact, na mga songwriters, madula ko, mayroon sila, Sir, sorry kayo, di ba ako kayo mo suwat og Bisaya? So, apologetic about not being able to write Bisaya songs. Unlike before, di ba, na murag kung Bisaya, kaya kinda look down or kuan. Pero this time, mura sila, mauwaw ba na, di sila kabaw mo suwat og Bisaya. So, it has really changed na from then till now na kanang that kind of culture or way of thinking. So, hopefully, with no one controlling them, they can just go and do as they please with the idea and write more Bisaya songs and in different genres, different stories, different perspectives. So yeah, that's the idea of Bisaya Vispop para sa tanan.
# Vispop para sa tanan.
And then Katsuki and I had an idea na March 6 of next year we're gonna hold a Vispop event in different places. Na it could be just a cafe or a small venue like Kandurao, but one in Davao, one in Bohol, one in Cebu, and maybe who knows, we can get a venue in Manila, and then just hold simultaneous on the same time, same date, Vispop event.
Like a Vispop night.
Yeah, and then tell artists to sue us all. Try going after.
Why March 6? Why is that the same date as
No, because that was the date where I think I posted the note, so just to to declare when I declared.
That's the date you put the
Vispop
Journey.
So, murag kuan siya. It's kind of making a good thing out of something kuan ba? Problematic or what? So that should be fun. That should be exciting.
No, in Mona, I think your story resonates with me because you're not trying to keep this thing. This is not yours.
Yeah.
Like everybody acknowledges that it came from you, but you yourself will say that it is not yours. This is not mine to keep.
Ang sayop na understanding sa man to good when I declare na it was my intellectual property. Ang ilang right away ko kay gi-claim ko nun ako. Pero I needed to claim na it's my intellectual property para to say na I have the right to say na let's not monopolize this. This is for everyone. I had that bargaining position na I actually own this, but I decide to let everyone use this.
Yeah, you had to put that in the beginning of your note to saying this was my idea. It started from me. Yeah. This term came from me. No? And then Mona and I don't it was just my idea, but everyone is free to use it.
That's the point. Mo ang pinaka point sa akong letter.
Well, I think that's a good place to end by.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Huh?
Thank you so much.
All right. Apoy Pang.
Okay. Hope you enjoyed that episode. A lot of people were curious about that whole Vispop controversy, and at least it was good to hear Jude Gitamondoc's side of the story. And frankly, it's very compelling. Me personally, I was a musician, so I side really with the artists. And when artists start complaining, and then you start hearing how that whole system works, then you really start asking questions. Anyway, the music from this podcast is Piano March by Audionautics. Thank you, Cube Gallery and Destination Specialist, for sponsoring the podcast. Usually in the end of the episode, this is the part of the podcast where I read the different ways you could support 032 Conversations. But this time, I urge you to look at the show notes for this episode. Look for that link for that fundraising campaign for John Michael Hermoso and Cyril Ramos after that shooting incident in the Good Cup Coffee Co. So it's a fundraising campaign for the families of John and Kiss. The news of the shooting, it sucked. That news of the news of the shooting really sucked. We don't know what the cause was. There's speculation of some sort of love triangle, whatever. This is according to the news, so nothing out of the nothing. This is out there. This is news that's out there. So it sucks. I hate that it happened. So if you want to help, links in the show notes. Please go and stay safe, everyone.